Well, what a 24 hours it's been for Bears fans. We're going to break down all the news. Allen Williams resigning, Nathan Peterman being released, Braxton Jones going on the IR, Justin Fields' comments. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to break it all down right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host here, Haize, holding it down for C-Dub and Bobby. But more importantly, make sure you guys are following the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the content for today. And man, has it not been a whirlwind of a 24 hours for the Chicago Bears. Keep in mind, yesterday was Ryan Poles' 38th birthday. And I guarantee that he did not have a single thing that happened yesterday on his bingo card for his 38th birthday. Like, it was a crazy day. And it started, really getting crazy initially with Braxton Jones being placed on the IR, which means that Braxton Jones is going to be out for at least 4 weeks. And we'll see when he's able to return for the Chicago Bears. Now, the Bears are going to have to, figure out what's going on, who's going to step into that position. I expect quite a lot of changes on that offensive line. When you look at it, Larry Borom is definitely, I think, going to get the start at this point. It just makes the most sense that he's going to get that that starting position. And so we'll see. It looks like Avante Collins was also called up from the practice squad as well. He's going to be the swing tackle, so that allows Larry Borom to come in to that starting position. Right now, Larry Borom has played 1,012 snaps at the right tackle and 85 snaps at the left tackle position. So, we'll see what happens with that. But, man, listen, when it comes down to it, there's considerable changes on that offensive line that are coming now with yet another offensive lineman going down, right? And so that also is now stirred up the conversation that Darnell Wright could be moved to the left tackle position as well, right? And so, we'll see with that. You move Larry Borom over to the right side, potentially move Darnell Wright to the left side, but we'll end up seeing what happens with that. Matt Eberflus said that they're still discussing the pros and cons of that option of moving Darnell Wright to the left tackle. So, we'll see. We'll see. At the end of the day, Darnell Wright's still going to be out there. Larry Borom's definitely going to be out there as well. And we'll see what happens with this offensive line and how they're able to really kind of come together now with all the injuries and adversity and everything that they're facing there. One of the questions that also are out there is that, are the Bears going to look at bringing in a tackle from the outside, right? So signing a free agent. And so, there are some people around that the Bears could go after. So we'll end up seeing with that, right? But it's not a lot of names that are available. Lael Collins is a player that's out there that, is reportedly healthy now. So the Bears could look, and I don't think he's a threat to come in and play any this week, but they could look to bring him in, especially with the length that these other players are going to be out as well. Eric Fisher is another player that has injury concerns as well that they could bring out. But these are kind of more guys to bring in as depth to push Larry Borom and to add some more depth to that offensive line that we definitely do need. And so, we'll see what happens. The Bears got some decisions. They got some things to look at and to make when it comes down to it. And, that offensive line has to play better. And I don't know if we're going to get that anytime soon just with everything that's going on right now. But I wish that I could say that Braxton Jones going down and being placed on the IR was the craziest thing to happen yesterday, but it wasn't. And I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about how the rumors went and how what's come out since then, right? And I think that's responsible reporting. But, we started getting word over things concerning things with Allen Williams, right? We heard at some point that the feds raided his home and Hallis Hall. We heard that Peanut Tillman was involved as far as letting, the Bears brass know that the feds were coming, right? And things like that. And it just turned into this whole soap opera that I'm sure Law & Order SVU will eventually make an episode based off this story. But when it comes down to it, and his name is Jonathan Segul, is the initial writer. He started, I can't remember, it's Chicago Sports something. It's a website that's out there and a YouTube page that he runs. But it initially came out that it's child pornography was involved, is what we heard for a brief period of time. And thank God that's been since debunked. It's now come out, Allen Williams, that they're saying that it's about his health. But Jonathan Segul, the guy who really came down and initially reported all this, that man's career is probably over. Because when you double down, and then even after the reports came out, he's like, no, the reports are true. I trust my sources. Learn to just say, hey, my sources were wrong. You had an out, young man. But when the Chicago Bears organization themselves needs to come out and say, hey, no, none of this happened, right? Peanut Tillman was not involved. The Hallis Hall was not raided or anything like that. Now, keep in mind, that does not mean that whatever's going on with the Fed, some things there still could not have happened, whatever. But at the end of the day, came down to Alan Williams has resigned. He put in his resignation. That doesn't mean that some other things are not seriously out there or whatever else it is, the rumors. But what we know right now that's officially been reported is Alan Williams has resigned for health concerns. That's what we know. That's what we're going to stick to. And if anything does come out and develop after that, of course we'll report on it, right? And shout out to Bobby and Steve-O who came out with an emergency live episode that really broke down everything that's going on there. But when you look at just what this means, like the Chicago Bears season is an absolute laughing stock. This is wild how the season has gone. It's crazy, right? Now, Alan Williams' name has been completely removed from the website and everything else like this. Like, it is what it is, right? And I'm not saying that some serious things aren't necessarily out there and happening right now, but at the end of the day, I don't know any of that. We haven't had any reports on any of that being true as of right now. Could it change? Could investigation or something be going on about something more serious? Yes, there's a possibility for that, right? But I'm not reporting on that. I'm not going to report on that. I'm going to comment on the rumors that were out there because it did turn into such a shit show. For those that know, I cover the Bears also for Bleacher Report. I had a Bleacher Report live in which we were supposed to be talking about Matt Eberflus or Justin Fields potentially being on the hot seat. And of course, in the comment section, it just devolved into Alan Williams and child pornography comments. And so, like, listen, I understand that we live in the social media age. And when something gets cracking on social media, it's hard to run it back, right? And once people run it, people who don't necessarily go out and research and look at anything, they're going to take that, they're going to run with it, and it is what it is. That's just the nature of the business that I work in. That's just the nature of it. But at the end of the day, it's been an extremely wild 24 hours for the Chicago Bears that ended all in Alan Williams resigning, right? That's what it happens down to it. Courtney Cronin and them have said that, and Zach Pearson have said that Hallis Hall was not raided. The police have not been to Hallis Hall in any connection to Alan Williams. So, we'll see. Nate Davis is also back, so there's a good thing on the offensive line as well. But right now, it's been a tough 24 hours, man, around Bears land. And so Alan Williams resigning is probably the craziest thing to come out and it happened in the Bears in a long time. But it really does suck that when your franchise is also losing, that all this turmoil and everything else going around, it's been crazy. It's been utterly crazy. And then in the midst of all that, Justin Fields had an interview in which our press conference in which he talked about him and not playing his game and how he's robotic out there and, things like that. And, people took that then and turned it into he was throwing the coaches under the bus. And so, he admitted that he was overthinking. He admitted that he needs to just go out there and play his game and be him. And I'm happy that Justin Fields, as a leader, stood up and said those things and made sure that he put it on himself. But of course, with anything, he said that he's being fed a lot of information by coaches and the fact that they want him to be a pocket passer. And we've said that, right? It seemed like Justin Fields was thinking too much out there, right? But to say that he threw the coaches under the bus, that's not necessarily how he said it, because he still put it on him. It's up to him to go out there and be him. And I love that he said it and he ended it on that. I'm going to go out there and be me. That is what we need Justin Fields to be. That is how you evaluate Justin Fields, regardless of whatever else happens, whether he's successful or not. Go out there and be you. Stop thinking so much, right? As far as overthinking, we want you to process. We want you to be able to evaluate. We want you to be able to read what the defenses are doing and make a decision, but we don't want you over there second-guessing and outthinking yourself on everything to where it leads to inaction. And that's what we've seen from Justin Fields, is that he's overthinking so much that he's not making any type of action. He's not taking any type of action, which led to sacks and things like that on possessions for him. So overall, like, the Justin Fields comments, I know it's a great headline to say, hey, Justin Fields, he threw his coaches under the bus. Justin Fields take shots at coaches. We live in such a weak-ass minded society in which talking about something honestly is looked at as taking a shot. You know how many times people in the comments, for example, on the YouTube section, if you say, hey, yeah, he missed the hole, he had a bad day. Why are you slandering him? Why are you slandering? Shut the fuck up. Like, we got to stop as a society being so fucking weak-minded to where anything that is that is true, like, we want these people to be open. We want unparalleled access to our players. And then when we see and hear them be honest, it's so quick on how the media and everything will turn it into something slanderous so that they can have a headline. And then these dramatic ass grown men. That's why I always say, right? Sports are soap operas for men. And you will never see. This is why when women say nobody gossips more than men, it's true. When you look at how men deal with sports, it's honestly kind of disgusting in some cases, right? How we just embellish and imprint storylines on things and stuff like that rather than just truly evaluate what was said for what it was, right? Nobody processes anything anymore. They hear something and take it for what they can turn it into and then make it the most slanderous and dramatic version of what was said. Yeah, he said that he's been playing robotic. Yes, we know he's been coached to be a pocket passer. Are those things good? No, they're not, right? And it's good that he came to that realization and put that onus back on himself to be him. That's what we drafted Justin Fields to be, right? And that's where he's going to be the most successful in being the best version of Justin Fields. He's not going to be Aaron Rodgers. He's not going to be Joe Burrow. He's not going to be any of those. He can be the best version of himself, and that's what we need him to be, right? And that's all it is. It's very simple. It's not an overcomplicated ass anything, right? It is what it is. Justin Fields needs to take control and ownership over his own development, and then we're going to see where it goes and where it takes him. Could it lead to success? Yes. Could it lead to more troubles and heartache? Yes. But at the end of the day, you're going to be able to be you, right? And that's what this coaching staff needs to allow him to do, and that's what Justin Fields needs to be. So, it is what it is there. Now, outside of that, we also got Nathan Peterman being released from the third string QB. So Tyson Bagent is now officially the second string quarterback. And so, of course, with all the start Tyson and all this stuff, that's going to generate. And that comes with it from Nathan Peterman was always there as a safety valve, right? As somebody who hey, we got this kid Tyson. He looks pretty good. We feel pretty confident in it. But if Justin goes down, do we really want to rely on a rookie undrafted quarterback, right? It seems like now, after 2 more weeks of having Tyson Bagent in their system and, practices, things like that, I like the fact that they feel confident in. And they also had to bring up somebody from the practice squad on the offensive line as well. So that also plays a part in that as well. While I know everybody's going to make it about Tyson Bagent, it's still, them bringing up somebody from the practice squad, that matters in that as well, too. So, the Bears are making moves. Unfortunately, right now, it's a lot of drama going on with the Chicago Bears, a lot of disgustingness going around with the Chicago Bears. And hopefully the chaos that's happening off the field for the Chicago Bears, hopefully, we lead to success on the field for the Chicago Bears. And, teams go through adversity, right? And the one thing that I want to see this team do is that through any adversity that they're facing, whether it's because of their play on the field, because of anything else, at the end of the day, we need and want that adversity to turn into this team coming together, this team developing that chip on their shoulder, this team putting it on themselves to really come in and step up and be what we need them to be here in Chicago, right? And on the field representing the Chicago Bears organization. That's what we need to do. It's been a lot of bad news. It's been a tough 24 hours. It's been honestly an embarrassing 24 hours, especially as a Bears fan, right? I'm known as a Chicago sports guy, right? So anytime something happens in Chicago sports, of course, all my people come to me. And it's honestly been embarrassing, right? It's been embarrassing. And so, I want to see better for this team, but it all comes down to this. And one thing that we know that is the one universal in sports: winning cures all. And so, yes, right now the Allen Williams thing is going to be a big story, and it should be, right? It absolutely should be. But we want that story to eventually turn into talking about what the Chicago Bears are doing on the field, right? And hopefully that is having success on the field on top of all of that. That's what we need. That's what we want to see from Justin Fields. And, at the end of the day, right, they can't allow yesterday's events and the rumors and everything to define this team, right? And it's going to be a storyline and a black eye on the franchise and everything else, and especially until actual details come out on exactly what happened to make all that go down with Allen Williams. But at the end of the day, Bears PR has a hell of a job in front of them, and but the Bears on the field, right? They need to take care of their business by just making it happen. Make it happen. Go out there and win. I tell you what, right now, if the Chicago Bears find a way to win against the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday, a lot of that storylines and everything else is being talked about is going to switch to how the Bears just defeated the Kansas City Chiefs. And I, for one, would much rather be the story for my squad than what's going on right now. But as always, let me know your guys' thoughts and feelings all down below. As always, make sure you're following the show at Shy Bear Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, chicagobearcentral@gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related, thanks to you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.